Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be part of this year's CTF AGM. It certainly is an AGM like no one's seen before, and all of you participating in the dialogue, debate, and decisions is what makes the business of CTF work. Je m'appelle Dean Ingram et je suis heureux de me présenter pour le poste de vice-président de la Fédération canadienne des enseignantes et des enseignants. Je me présente comme candidate parce que je crois qu'il est important que le FCE trouve un moyen d'équilibrer l'attention qu'elle accorde aux piliers sur lesquels elle est fondée. Malheureusement, je ne parle pas bien le français et j'espère que vous pourrez tous comprendre mon message aujourd'hui. For CTF to be impactful and relevant, it must focus on the needs of our membership. My mother was a teacher in the late 1960s. She shared with me her realities as a sole charge teacher in rural Newfoundland. She stopped being a teacher because her father, my grandfather, wouldn't sign for her to get a loan to continue her education that she would need to remain certified. My grandfather believed that as a young woman, she was going to get married and her husband would look after her and she shouldn't take on that burden of a loan. Now, while I love my grandfather dearly, he was absolutely wrong then. Absolutely wrong now. And while there's been tremendous progress, thankfully, since then, we had to acknowledge that there remains much more that needs to be done on so many fronts. This AGM, we have ensured that we will have designated equity seats for the Executive Board. We have to continue to work to ensure that there's nothing that prevents highly qualified and capable individuals from stepping forward. We know that across the country, the incidence of school violence against classroom teachers, school administrators, school counselors, educational workers have been on the rise. This was the focal point for one of the past forums on public education. It's a topic that continues to be relevant today. We know that social and emotional health for students requires immediate attention, as does the social and emotional health of our collective membership. The stresses and anxieties resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic have underscored the social and emotional needs of our membership. The well-being of, advocacy for teachers must be at the heart of what teacher organizations, including CTF, are all about. The success of any organization can only be measured through the lens of how its members have benefited. Periodically, most, if not all member organizations, have had their members question why their respective associations are part of CTF. I'm of the opinion that the more that CTF addresses and advocates for issues that face our members on a daily basis, the less those questions will be asked. It's why I feel that CTF has to be at the forefront on discussions on Section 43, which have recently resurfaced. It's why CTF has to be at the table discussing how to address the challenges of our members as we navigate the challenges of COVID. Advocating for PPE and financial measures that are needed for our substitute and supply teachers has to be a key file in the present and into the future. As Canadian teachers, we have a moral and an ethical responsibility to speak on issues of child poverty, equitable representation for all, social justice, climate change, truth and reconciliation, among others. It's the attention to these issues that provide us with a moral and an ethical compass, and a firm footing on the high ground to speak on other issues relevant to our collective memberships. The CTF is first and foremost, and must continue to be a federation representing and advocating for solutions to the day-to-day challenges of our members. As such, teacher welfare issues will always be important and must be a focus in CTF activities. Our member organizations, our members, are living the reality of attacks on public education. Too many teachers are starting to accept physical, verbal, and emotional attacks as a normal part of the job. Let me be clear, it isn't. We see jurisdictions across the country struggling with recruitment and retention of professional educators, which is a result of inadequate compensation levels and difficult working conditions. As CTF Vice President, teacher welfare will be my first priority. The Canadian Teachers Federation must strengthen its relationship with the Council of Ministers of Education Canada, CMEC. Education is a provincial responsibility, and the CMEC is the body through which CTF can be most effective in advocating for our members. My experience at the CTF board, my recent experience at the CTF executive table, and within my own provincial teachers association and union has prepared me to be an effective member of the CTF executive committee. It's only when diverse perspectives are included and considered, more importantly valued, that we can get a full picture of our context, who we serve and represent, what they need, and how to successfully engage with people where they are. I want to be part of a CTF executive board that works to that end. I know I'll be an effective part of that team. I'm hopeful you will agree. Je vous remercie de votre attention. Thank you.